It is Around the House with the Donna Shaw team for this Memorial Day weekend. And we're here going to give you some good news. Guys, I'll let it up to you, Kendra and Scott. What's going on in real estate?
We're open.
We're open. Woo!
I know, it's so exciting. I'm like giddy, and but we're open. But we are still taking care of everybody. So we have some regulations that we got to do. We have to wear masks, got to keep wipes there, make sure we're wiping down. We don't want anybody to get sick. So what else are we doing, guys?
Well, we're having to space out our showings if we have listings. So if, you're not one of our clients and your agent says, oh, it's already blocked, it's because we have to leave a half hour in between showings. And we're doing the same. It's enough time for either homeowners or the other agents to disinfect the houses.
And there is a health form that we still have to fill out, and we actually got a little bit change in that. It can be a verbal thing, but we're probably still going to keep some record tracking. And besides that, we will have to communicate your information to the buyer information to the seller. They have to keep it as a tracking form.
Yeah, simple form though. It's no big deal. You just have to answer questions that you haven't been sick. So simple form for every house that you go in. So, if we ask you to fill it out 3 times, because we're going to be with you over the 3-day period, just fill it out. We're ready to go. We're looking at houses.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about that. So give us a call if you have any questions about anything, and we'll be happy to answer the real estate questions for you. So on the next note, it is Memorial Day weekend, great weekend, and we're just going to give you a couple stories on what the day means to each of us. So Kendra, you want to go first?
So for me, it's really just a day of remembering and honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and our freedoms that we do have. So just take some time and remember how we got to where we are and who went and fought that battle for us.
I know, Kendra, your father was in the service as well.
He was a Purple Heart recipient in the Vietnam War. So he lost quite a few of his infantry during that time. And it's always a very sad time for him.
Yeah. Okay, Scott, what about yourself?
Well, thanks to Kendra's dad. We always make a point of thanking any vet that we see because the sacrifice that they gave. But behind me you'll see up on the curio you'll see the flag that my dad received upon his death. He was buried with honors, and over my shoulder here is a picture of him in his Navy sitting on the fence. I guess it was a visit home. He was from Western Maryland, and also his dog tags are hanging there in the lower corner. I was able to get a reprint of his dog tags from the U.S. Navy Memorial. I had enrolled him in that when they first started the fundraising to create the U.S. Navy Memorial in D.C. And so he's permanently enrolled in the Navy log there for his service. But the story is my dad was a corpsman, which is a medic. And he was in the Navy, but he was attached to a Marine unit. And as often happens, our veterans don't talk about the things that happened to them during the war. They'll talk to you about, good times with their buddies and stuff like that, but they won't talk about their war efforts. But it did come out at my father's funeral that, in fact, he did serve, and he was with a Marine unit, and he was on Iwo Jima, and he had gotten hit, but it wasn't. Nothing that affected him for the rest of his life. But I was raised in a very patriotic family. Both my grandfather served in World War I, and both received major injuries in World War I, which shortened their lives. And but my mother and father made it very clear to us at an early age of how fortunate we are to live in this country as opposed to any other country in the world. And the point I want to make is, even with these conditions that we're under right now, we still live in the greatest country in the world. And we will work through this like we always do, but we need to depend on each other. Again, remember those people that paid the price in order to give us these freedoms. And it's very important that, we keep that serious and we understand that everybody shares the same freedoms. And, we don't have that, going back and forth, the politicalization of this. As Americans together, we can overcome anything.
Yep. And my immediate family was not in the service, but actually my history actually went back to 1683. My great-great-grandfather was actually in the Army. He was an officer in the Cumberland's Army. And so we go back very far into the military. Military on my dad's side. I do have the flag as well, Scott. He was actually my great uncle, and he passed away not from the service. He was in an automobile accident back home when he was on leave, and was disabled there for a while. But also my uncle, he actually served in all the branches of the military, and he just passed away just this year. And what a great guy, just like yours. Didn't talk about the service, but so upbeat, and everybody just loved him. We were not a real close military family, and we weren't like you, Scott, to kind of keep in front of us that we have to remember everybody. It was just, you remembered it, but it just wasn't a daily thing. Kendra and I took a class with Sean Purnell, that we read one of his books, and it hit hard. It really gave us the sight of what they go through when they're in the service and they are in Afghanistan. And it hits home, excuse me, that we really cannot take them for granted on what they've sacrificed for us to be able to live in this beautiful country that we live in. We're going through hard times, but we are not sacrificing what they did. So take some time, be with family, remember everybody who served, whether you know somebody or not. We can't put our flags out this year in the cemeteries, but we surely can remember them. And if you have flags, raise them high. And let's remember everybody that actually has served for our country. So besides that, I hope it's a beautiful weekend. I hope we get out and enjoy some sunshine, enjoy some family time, and we will catch up with you next week. Anything from you two guys before we sign off?
Nope, just looking forward to, moving on. We're almost through. Oh my gosh, we're ready to creep up on the second half of the year here. And, it is a great weekend to just recoup and revive and get ready to get out there and make things happen. So.
And I have a very sincere thank you to all our vets out there, and God bless America.
Yep.
Okay, very good. See you, everybody.